Hi there, Lindsay here, the Frugal Crafter. Today we're going to do a craft along. Those are fun. We had so much fun in the last one we did with the Dollar Tree stickers. This time we're going to craft with our fake relatives, our faux ancestors. I got this package of Tim Holtz Ideology. They're called paper dolls. And then what I did was I made some cards with them, but then I realized it was so much easier to sort them by I sorted them by kids, female, girls, kids that are boys, couples, men, women, and then female friendship there. So that way I'd be able to find my people, my faux ancestors, a lot easier. And these are the cards that I made. We're going to do a lot of fun different techniques today. These cards all have a little pocket on the front with a little tag bookmark that you can remove. They're decorated on both sides. We're going to do all of these techniques together in this little craft along. And I think it's going to be a lot of fun. So this one I thought of as kind of like a wedding card. I'll go through the supplies we're going to use too, so don't worry, you don't have to scramble to jot a bunch of things down. Hopefully I'll have a really good supply list in the video description. I'll link up what I can. A lot of these things are going to be stuff that you have in your stash already or that you can find around the house. This one could be a birthday. I really like the back of that tag too. We'll do that technique. You know, this could be a birthday or back to school or congratulations. Really, it could be anything. I mean, it's very kind of generic there. But you can also stick like gift certificates or gift cards in these pockets as well, like behind the tag if you want to. Or you could put one of these pockets on the inside of the card if you want. This one I thought would be a fun female friendship type of card. I love the sewing theme. I always love sewing themed things. You probably see some things that you've seen in recent tutorials. And this one, I just thought this was kind of this would be a cute, just either, it's kind of music themed, kind of just vintage. These all have a very vintagey flair to them, but as always, use whatever style you like the best. So those are the samples that I made. We're going to make probably 4 cards together. They won't be identical to these, but they'll be that same sort of thing. And I'll show you the supplies that I'm going to use. Of course, you can fast forward if you're not interested here. But I know some people will ask me, what was that pad of paper? What was that stamp? What was this? What was that? And I thought, if I go over some of the basics right now, it'll be really helpful and where I bought them. I got this at Joann's Fabrics, and these go on sale for like $5 or $6 quite frequently. I got this back in November or December for $5 or $6, and they've been on sale for that price since. And this is the Family Heirlooms Park Lane paper stack. Park Lane is their like house brand at Joann's, and I do believe that's available on their website too if you don't have a Joann's in person. But the thing I liked about this was that these papers just look very pretty as is. None of the scale is too big that I can't cut them down for cards, but you know, they're 12 by 12 for scrapbook pages. There are some with some like varnish on them, which are kind of pretty, and very kind of vintage and non-gender specific motifs, so you could use them on like I love this for like a wedding card. Nothing's, you know, too specific, I guess. The matte paper's always nice. I like paper pads, and this is a tip. If you are a scrapbooker or a card maker, I really recommend these papers like this that have the cut-aparts. So there are 12, I can't count. Math is not my strong suit. So there are 12 little things you can cut apart. I already cut apart one of those papers. I'll show you in a minute. I really like papers like this and paper packs that have these, because then you can cut them apart and you've got those ready for like sticking a small photo on, adding some journaling, whatever you want to do. It adds a little interest, and it's like a decoration and embellishment right from the paper. So if you like these are going to go really well with the Tim Holtz paper dolls, faux ancestors that I have, and when I saw this, I thought this was really cute, especially for $5, even if I only used half of it and, you know, gave half away. It also has a family tree page, which might be nice if you like to do heritage scrapbooking. My heritage book is already complete, but this would definitely be nice to put in there, especially if you had one relative that had an interesting backstory that you'd like to put that information on. And that also has like kind of a family tree. What's this one called? Family Heirlooms. Oh, that's why it must be like a genealogy type stack. But I really like this for cards because the scale's not too big. You can definitely use these for Mother's Day, Father's Day, wedding, just all occasion. I thought that was really pretty, so I got that one. It was $5 or $6. Now, I just showed you these here, the little the paper doll pack. I think I also got this at Joann's. It might have been AC Moore before they closed. I do believe it's a current product. It says 2017, so if I can find that on Amazon, I'll link it up. But I do recommend getting them out of their package. Like with the other Tim Holtz collage thing, I bought a pack, it was like butterflies and stuff, and I dumped them right out in a basket, and I use them so much more because they're just easy to grab right there in a basket. So I highly recommend if you buy like a pack of stickers, or you know, sometimes you can buy the die cut stickers or collage packs, ephemera packs. If you can put them in a little shallow tray that you can like rifle through and find what you have, it's so much nicer. And there's so much in here that I just divided these up by boys and girls and men and women and couples and, you know, female friends, just so I could have those ready to go. I also took some of those papers and chopped them down to, I did some for like small card sizes and also large card sizes, 5x7, because that's what we'll be doing today with our pockets, because they're too big. Those tags are really too big to put on a smaller card. And these are the little journal things that I cut up from those cut apart pages. Those are great. I'll keep those right in my card making cart right next to me so I can grab these for any sort of card that I might want a little something. The nice thing about the palette here, the color palette on those papers as well, is that they're very neutral and they're very muted. So you can ink the edges and make them match like other things you might want to work with. So I like that. When I'm looking for something to work with, I try to get something that's going to be versatile and match other things. So that's what I have there. And I just have these in a little tray to keep them kind of organized on my table. Another thing we're going to use today are, oh, we got so many things. We're going to use some inks. Now don't get too, I've got so much going on for these projects that it really helps if you limit, like say your color palette. So I decided to go with kind of a muted blue, a muted yellow, a muted green, and a muted like corally red color. Those colors match my paper pad. They're gonna work. I don't have to like keep digging around for more ink, and then I just got blenders to use with those and put them in another bin. I did go old school. I got some scallop scissors and some pinking edge scissors. If you are going to get some decorative edge scissors, or maybe you have a bunch and you're thinking about getting rid of some, don't get rid of your scallops or your pinked edge ones or your decal edge ones, because those you're going to keep using. I've had these for 20 years probably, and I still use them. I highly recommend on these sort of shapes too. These are Provo Craft, I think, and they're okay, but Fiskars makes a better decorative edge scissor if you're ever looking to purchase some. I've got some sewing stamps, some different stitches than I had last time. These were by Technique Tuesday. I've got an embossing pad, also some brown ink pads, and some of the stencils. Remember the stencils that I showed you on a Sat Chat a couple weeks ago? I grabbed a few just kind of generic designs that I thought would go good with these kind of vintage themed projects, and I just tucked them in here. So give yourself some options, but not such a variety of things that you spend all your time just trying to decide. I also grabbed a few balls of yarn and just a little like piece of like die cut felt, just a few things, just so I'd have some fibers to go on the tags. These are decorative yarns. I actually took all my decorative yarns and put them in little bins in my studio here, and I put all my other yarns back in totes. So I wasn't using them. I thought I might use them if they were out more, but I didn't, so I put them back. And then for stamps, I showed you that I have a couple of the stitch stamps on blocks. I love stitch stamps. I thought this set was really nice. Probably isn't still around because it's from 2005, but that was a Technique Tuesday. I thought it's called Hanging by a Thread if you want to look it up on Etsy or eBay or something. I've got a few stamp wheels with some vintage thingies on it. This one actually has an ink cartridge that goes with it, which is nice. These, I believe, are discontinued because the company that used to make these for Stampin' Up! And for themselves, Rollograph, was owned by ClearSnap, and they went out of business last year. So if you can find these, I mean, if you have them, use them. Probably can find them on eBay and stuff as well. I've got just a couple things of baker's twine that are going to match. I got a few things of washi tape that will match. I got some strong adhesive for adhering our glassine. I keep some tags and glassine envelopes together because they fit. So I've got both a large tag, which is about 3x6, and a small one, which is about 2x4 and 4 3/4, probably 1 3/4 by 4 3/4 or so. So just make sure your bag's going to match. You can also use vellum or tissue paper or deli paper and fold up your own little envelopes for those. You don't need to go buy glassine bags if you have other similar products. There's my decal scissors. These stamps are really fun for the backgrounds. They're both by Lost Coast Designs, so if you go to lostcoastdesigns.com, I'll link that up. I thought those are really cute and kind of timeless. I like the vintage stuff because it's timeless. I did grab a few markers, water-based markers, but I didn't like how contrasted they were, so I'm probably not going to use those. I've got my white buttons because they go with everything, and I've got some adhesive. I have some Elmer's white glue and a little glue pen. You can get these in a 3-pack at the Dollar Tree. And I have this Beacon 3-in-1 for gluing buttons or anything kind of dimensional if I want to add. Like if I wanted to put a metal charm, that would be good. Wow, we're 9 minutes in. Holy cow, guys. I hope you're feeling like hanging out and having a chatty, crafty time today. So the first thing we're going to do is grab our tags. That's what we're going to work on first. And I used to be able to go to the grocery store and get Glassine sandwich bags. I'm not sure if those are still around, but you could definitely alter them. Or, like I said, parchment paper, deli paper, tissue paper. Make your own little pouch if you don't have these. These I got at Paper Mart. I think you can also get them at Amazon, because if you get them at Paper Mart, they come in some really big quantities, so it might be more than you need. But they're just so fun. I love little pockets. You know, I think pockets are so adorable, and they're just fun to craft with. All right, so what we're going to do is we are going to trim these bags in half, because we don't want to hide. We don't want to hide our light under a bushel, do we? No, that's going to cover up way too much. And even though it's translucent, it's pretty to see through. It's nicer if they're a little bit shorter. So these will cut pretty easily with a paper trimmer or scissors. I'm going to use a paper trimmer just to keep it straight. And I'm going to go roughly, I would say roughly in half. I think that's about 6 inches tall, so right around 3. For that one, oh, I eyeballed that pretty good. Or you could even make the bottom one be a little bit taller so that you can like scallop the edge. Now you'll need to close up the top portions, because right here these bottom ones are going to be fine, but the top ones, they're going to be, you know, our tie is going to slide right through if we don't do anything to the bottom there. See? It's going to slide right through. So what I like to do for this is to use some score tape. The score tape is just quite a bit stronger than other brands, and I just know it's, even if like Glassine can be a little, or if you're using wax paper or something that's a little bit waxy, the score tape will close it. So what you want to do is just kind of gently open up the bag and put the tape along the bottom. This one might be, let's do this one on a big one, because I think that might be a little long. You don't need to go the whole way, you just basically need to stop that, you need to stop the tag from sliding through. I do try to go the whole distance, just because sometimes you can see the adhesive, but because it's not, it is a little bit of has a little bit of a milkiness. Your adhesive doesn't show through like it would as much with like acetate or vellum, so it is kind of forgiving. Plus, we end up decorating these bags a little bit, so if you do see your adhesive and it bothers you, you can hide it. You can also go with a thinner score tape than this. This is 1/4 inch. I think I probably should use my 1/8 inch, but I had the 1/4 inch in here already, so that worked. Then, if you want to, you know, decorate the top edges of these, you can use pinked or scalloped edge scissors. I think I was really pleased to see how well these cut. So here is an example of the scalloped edge scissors. Look at that, it cuts really well. It's so crispy. Now, I saw a really fun tutorial by Nick the Booksmith. She's also a YouTuber here on the platform on YouTube. Ever heard of it? She made her own Glassine using tracing paper and clear spray paint. It's really beautiful. So you do have to kind of go in from the edge. You can't, you know, you do have to get a little bit of space to be able to shape these papers like that. If you go too close to the edge, it's just going to kind of bend the paper. So you do have to get a little bit away from the edge. And there we go. So we've got a couple decorative edges there. I think those are super cute. We're just going to set these aside, and we'll come back to them later on. Or you can always wait to trim those edges to see what the theme of your card is going to be, if you want more of a pointy or a roundy edge. That's typically what I do, but since I've already made a bunch of these tags, I got a pretty good idea of what I'm doing. All right, you want some paper to protect your work surface here. And we're gonna have some fun. We're gonna play. Playing is good. Okay, so first thing I want to do, I'm gonna use some stamps. And when I'm doing like a big unmounted stamp like this, a lot of times I do not bother to put them on a block, because especially something like this, it is so detailed. I want to make sure I can really press down and get all of that detail there, because that can be a little finicky when you have a photorealistic stamp. And aren't these just dynamite? These are like, I think the first stamps I ever bought from Lost Coast Designs at the first stamp show I ever went to when I was so young. I'm going to start off with this measuring tape here, and I'm going to use archival ink. I'm going to use archival because I know I'm going to use some inking techniques on top of this, and I don't want it to, you know, to run. I want to keep that. Now, I'm using a brown archival ink I probably could use to re-ink this one, but I think it's still got a little gas in the tank, I think. You could use black if you don't think it like stands out enough. You can see how mine looks, and if you're like, oh, I wish mine was bolder, then go ahead and use your oh goodness, that's fine. Didn't even mess it up. You can go ahead and use the black. So I'm just gonna set that down someplace that looks good. Let's put it right there. And then what I like to do is rub over it with another piece of paper, or you can just kind of fold your paper down like that. I got hot glue on the back of this, so hopefully it doesn't make any weird bumpy lumps. Just make sure you give it, it's kind of like doing printmaking. You just want to make sure you make contact with all of the paper. And that gives, oh, isn't that nice? I like that. Okay, now I thought I might do a rolly stamp of this measuring tape across, but I don't think I'm going to because that's going to take up too much space and I want to get those pencils in there. So what I'm going to do is grab a Post-it note here. And I'm just going to put it like that, but I'm going to just pull it down a little bit so I can see a little bit of that brown there. Because just that little gap of the Post-it note, sometimes I can make it not want to, sometimes like the ink skips right where you have your mask. So that's just going to give me a little area where if the ink overlaps, it's not a big deal. I'm using the same color ink anyway. So not a big deal. And now I'm going to ink up our gorgeous little pencils. That's what they're called, right? So another tip here, you really want to make sure you get these well inked so that it captures all the detail. This would be a good candidate for stamping on like a glossy paper too, because glossy paper captures the detail a little bit better. When you have a stamp like this, it's got a lot of detail, you want to trim away any excess. So if that stamp, if the rubber is bigger, you want to go in there with your fine tip scissors and trim away the excess. Like if I found that these were giving me a little bit of a printing, I could actually trim in between those too. So just kind of keep that in mind. I want to make sure that I don't have the pencil tips cut off, and I'm seeing where are the most interesting pencils. Maybe we'll go to this end here. All right, again, I'm going to just fold my paper over. And I'm just going to rub over my stamp. Oh, that hot glue, man. I should have sprung for a new piece of paper. All right. Ooh. And there we go. So it looks like our pencils are coming out from behind the ruler. Now right there, can you see where I got a little bit of ghosting? So I probably will go in with my sharp rubber cutting scissors and cut out between those points so that doesn't happen again. But I think it's fine. I think that looks cute. So for this one here, let's do this roller stamp. This one actually has a cartridge in it. I don't have too many colors of these cartridges. I don't have many of the small ones. I have some of the bigger ones, but I didn't have a brown or a black. So I'm just making sure it's inked up. And I'm also going to look, because there's a seam on this one, so I want to make sure I'm not going to stamp the seam. And then I'm just going to go right along the edge. I love these things. I'm so bummed that they're discontinued. But lucky for me, I have quite a hoard of these, so it's not that big of a deal. So there you can see it. It just looks like an old-fashioned yardstick. I love it. That was one of the first things I bought from Stampin' Up, actually. Now, again, I'm going to mask, and we are going to put some pencils on that one, because it's fun. Let's do this side of the pencil stamp. In fact, I don't even need to ink the whole thing up. Because there's so many really cute images of school children in that Tim Holtz set, I can also, if it's just a small area, I can just rub it with my fingers and not put the paper down. Just make sure you don't move that tag. I hope I didn't. And don't worry if you get a little, see, this is the danger with this is you can smear ink on the back side of the stamp, and that's kind of a bummer. We're crafting along. I hope you're having a great day and good week. Oh, that's cute. And again, I did get that up there, but I'm not going to worry about it. Look at those browns are different. Look at the good detail though. I like that. Now let's do one where we just kind of stamp it along like that. I think that would also look really cute. Do I want to do? Yeah, let's do this with the tips of the pencils. Make sure you got it. Actually, this was probably not under ink. It's got plenty of ink in it. I tend to over ink my stamp, to be honest. Alright, so I want to make sure the pencil tips show. Oh, it's crooked, but I'm not going to worry about it. By the time we're done inking these, it really will not matter. I love the stamp. And I think, this isn't a sponsored video, but I think that Lost Coast Designs is having a 25% off sale. I saw so because they're not able to do shows because of the pandemic, so they're having like a sale. Oh shit, I got this big gap there. And I don't like that, but I think I can handle that. I can deal with that. We'll deal with that later. That's not a big deal. And then maybe let's do something different. Let's do the little ticker tape here. Ticker tape, not ticker tape. Measuring tape. Let's do that. Let's move our inky stamps. And then we'll do the other ends of the pencil so we get some erasers. I think that would be really cute. These can also be like, you know, for sewing themed things as well. So, I mean, you got a lot of versatility. I like that. I think vintage stuff also, you just get a lot of versatility because it kind of, vintage stuff kind of just goes with everything, I think. And let's kind of just ink up the middle. No point putting ink where you're not going to use it on the tag because then you're just wasting it. And I'm just going to set that right there. Alright, let's see how this looks. Hey, that looks alright. I didn't really ink that up very great, but I think I like it. I think it looks alright. Okay, so we can put these aside. I'll wash them later. I'll just put them together like that for now. And cap off the ink. And with this thing, these have, if you use those, just pull it down and then the ink won't rest on the stamp. I don't think it's good to have, and then you can slide on the little ink pad cover. I don't think it's good to have anything pressed against your stamp for any long period of time. Alright, now we're going to do some inking, which is always really fun. So we can get our tags back out. I also have my stencils, so those will be nice to use. Let's see, why don't we just see what we have for stencils here. Well, this one's kind of pretty because it's just kind of overall organic pattern. I like stuff like that. Ooh, this is kind of neat. Trying to choose ones I didn't use last time. There we go. And let's grab our inks. Try to limit your palette because then everything will match as you're working from card to card. If you have something left over for one, it'll work on something else, which is nice. I actually think I'm going to flip these over and do this inking on the back side because then what will happen is we'll just end up decorating the side we like the best. And I like that. Okay, so I'm going to start off just by doing some overall inking on two of these. Let's do inking on two of these. I like to do direct to paper. I like it because I get a good amount of ink. It's almost like painting with a paintbrush. I do recommend having re-inkers for your pads if you do this because the you will go through quite a bit of ink. And your fingers are going to get pretty dirty here. That looks, oh, I just love those colors. And then these little tools here, I made these just by taking makeup wedges and folding them in half and gluing them. You can glue them in bottle caps. I had bottle caps for my dye inks, and I put them in chess pieces for my distress inks just so that I wouldn't mix them up. And I could, if I need more ink, I can just dip into the pads. Just like so. I try not to contaminate them, to cross-contaminate them. Like, I probably won't blend in with the yellow because that would just contaminate that sponge. So I would just use the other colors and blend those around. Since these stay wet a little bit longer than other inks, they're very similar to the distress inks, they're just thicker and opaque. I can get, I can work on a couple things at a time and I don't have to rush. These will feel greasy for a little while, and I thought I might even have to laminate them because I thought, oh, they're just going to be greasy and I won't be able to use them as bookmarks. But overnight they were fine. They weren't greasy in the morning. So you can laminate them if you want, but I think they're fine. I think they will eventually dry just fine. All right, so the next technique I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take one of these stencils and let's see. I'm going to do, let's try and do a tone on tone. I don't know if this will show up or not. I just want to kind of do a little bit of a tone on tone here. And also with the red. Careful. Oh, I'm able to do, let's do a little bit of blue up there on top of the green. So we do have a little contrast. Oh, that's pretty. I like that. I just want to scooch this down a little bit. And we do a little bit more. Maybe a little bit of blue. Well, you know what? I can use this whole other area. Okay, oh, I like that quite a bit. Isn't that pretty? Okay, I'm just going to set that to set up a little bit. Then I'm going to spritz this with some water. I'm going to do it off camera because I don't want to spray my work surface, but spritz, 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 spritz. And then I'm going to press this down on my my thing here and just kind of spread it up like that. Let's see what happens there. That's okay, but I think I could do a little bit better. Let's set that back down again. And let's grab our little sponges and spread some of the ink off the stencil onto that tag and see what it looks like. This is a lot of experimenting, guys. We're playing, we're having fun, and sometimes you just gotta see somebody. I think, it's helpful if I just see somebody playing with materials sometimes, and it's like, oh, that's a good idea, I can do that, you know what I mean? Sometimes it just takes a little bit of experimenting. I like that. Now, I kind of want to add some yellow to that. So let me try my little blender brush here. These are the Judykins color dusters. I love these things. They give you more texture than the makeup style brushes. They are also a little bit quicker to apply too. I'm not worried about what's going on the other side of the tag. If I get some smudges over there, I am not going to worry about it one bit. I just want to let you know in case you are like, oh my gosh, Lindsay, you're gonna mess up the front of the tag. I'm not worried about the front of the tag. I'm gonna choose whatever side looks better is what I'm going to use. Oh, there's another technique I want to show you too. I'm running out of tags. Oh, bad problem to have. Nah. All right, we'll let that one dry. And do I want to do a little texture on this? Oh, I kind of do. Let's do, let's try this guy. Oh, no, let's do this one. I haven't used this one yet. Oh, it's pretty. It looks like snowflakes. It looks like it could be snowflakes. It looks like it could be, like flowers, like a flower, like a wallpaper or something. You know, it's just kind of fun. I like that. Let's just do a little bit of that. Let's see. Yeah, that's all right. That's cute. Let's just set that aside to dry. And then again, I don't want to waste that, so yeah, we'll just do a little bit of that. Oh, you know what? We can also do. Let's not waste this. And now I'm spraying over my table like a lunatic here. Ah, that was messy. Ooh, I like it though. Okay, lovely. Now with your stencils, and you've used Distress Oxide or Distress Ink or spray ink, anything like that that does not dry, you will want to clean your stencils. So I generally have a rag kicking around in here. Usually I have it on the back of my table, but for whatever reason I don't. I might have thrown it in the wash. It's just, I took that old gray sweatshirt, you probably remember it from videos. Oh my gosh, I had it for so many years, it was so gross. And it had gone through the wash again, and I was like, oh, I guess I should wear it one more time before I toss it. It wasn't good enough to donate. And it was so gross, and like the sleeves were just like, I repulsed myself when I look back at videos. It's like, oh my word, that's gross. So I actually chopped it up, and it lives on as a rag in my studio. Okay, so this technique I want to share with you. We're going to do a little resist. Another fun thing you can do with the Wheeler stamps, the Rolly stamps, is that you can use it with a regular ink pad. It gives you you get about 6 inches of pattern before, you know, you're on that first generation of stamping. This one doesn't even have much of a seam, which is nice. This is a friendship style one. And oh, I've had this ink pad for so long. This is what an ink pad looks like when it's finally starting to break apart. So I'm going to have to probably toss this one pretty soon, but I refill it with glycerin, and it's just so nice for these mixed media techniques because it's real spongy and really juicy. All right, I'm just going to roll. It's not quite wide enough for me to do, so I might still have to do it twice. So I'll roll it up like that, and then I'll hit the edge as well because it's not quite wide enough, but that's all right. And then I should have used the embossing buddy on this, but I forgot to. Luckily this is mixed media and really distressed and vintagey looking, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And we're gonna grab some clear embossing powder, and we're gonna give that a good old shake-a of powder. Hopefully it doesn't stick to everything and just hits those. Oh yeah, it looks pretty good. You know, I find that tags actually, too, don't need the embossing pouch as much as other things do, I think, because it's not like a really slick surface or something. I don't know. It just seems to do fine. All right, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's put our powder back in the container. And we're going to heat this up. And I did a little YouTube short on the little holster I made for my heat tool the other day, so if you haven't seen that, check it out. I found these great hooks at the Dollar Tree. They were actually a pack of 5. I couldn't believe it, 5 for $1. I hung one up on the side of my table for my hot glue gun, and I hung one up for my heat tool. So it was pretty awesome. I was totally psyched that it fit both of those because I like having them close at hand, and I have them on my power strip that I turn off at the end of each day, so I don't even have to worry about forgetting to unplug them. Of course, I would not turn the glue gun on in its holster because I don't think you want something that hot right up against your table, but it does keep it really handy. I bet it would work for like other things too that you might. They're actually called tool hooks, so I think they're meant for like hanging up brooms and rakes and things like that. But I couldn't believe like 20 cents a piece. That's crazy. You never know what you're gonna find at the dollar store, folks. So much better than they used to be. Alright, this looks pretty well Heat it up to me. I don't like to heat right on my mat because I've like made it bubble before. It's not good for those. Don't want to overheat it because then you lose the embossing. It like seeps it back into the paper or something. Alright, I think that's good. And back in the holster you go. I love that thing. Alright, so now we're going to do a little bit of it. Oh, got some residual powder there. We are going to do some inking on this. Oh, by the way, I saw a video where like somebody was restoring a Tonka truck and they were doing powder coat on the like on the finish, like for the spray paint. And I was like, I wonder if powder coat is like embossing powder, because it looks like they put it in this oven. They like poofed on the powder coat stuff and then they put it in an oven and then it like got all glossy. And I'm like, what if that is embossing powder? Is, you know, maybe it's just like a super duper durable embossing powder, because I don't think embossing powder is all that durable, but man, oh man, it looked like embossing powder. I thought that was really cool. So if you know, please comment down below if you know what powder coat is, because I think it might be embossing powder or something related to it. I wouldn't think it'd be a plastic though. It looks like, it kind of looks like a glass. Now, I wouldn't bother washing these if these got like contaminated and gross. I would just yank it out, get a new cosmetic wedge. They're like, you know, 100 for $1 at Dollar Tree in a package, and, you know, replace it. They last as long, if not longer, as like the Tim Holtz blending foams that you buy. And for me, as far as I can see, I think they work just as well. Oh, if you want to do a little vintage edge on things, you can do that at this point, or you can wait till later. It's up to you. I think I'll wait. on mine. All right, I'm going to set that aside to dry. Now, when you're doing like the Distress Oxide, like techniques where you flick water and stuff, you can experiment, because different paper is going to react differently. You can try flicking it on right after you ink it up. You can try heat setting it first and then flicking it on, and you can try completely letting it dry and doing it, and then you can just go for the effect that you like the best. I'll show you this one here. I'll do that one while it's still fairly wet. I feel like it lifts up more if you do it when it's really wet, but you know, it's completely up to you. You'll figure out what look you like the best, and that's the way you do it. There's no right way, there's no wrong way. There's what works for you, okay? And then I do like to use a paper towel for blotting up. And you'll also notice that depending on how much you put, you'll get a different effect. And it just gives you an extra layer of pattern and texture. I think those are just adorable. Aren't they pretty? Oh my gosh, it's almost like, and sometimes the prettier side is the one I don't decorate because I'm like, oh, that's really pretty. I don't want to cover it up, you know? That's completely up to you. Now, I typically do this on the larger tags with the text, but that looks pretty on the small one as well. If you're not happy with how your background looks, keep adding to it and you'll get there. It'll look good. And now we can flip it over. Now don't worry, don't fret that the front of your tag's looking a little scary. It's not supposed to be perfect. It's distressed, guys. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna do some coloring. And oh, something I didn't show you that I actually had on my table is my bin of gelatos. And it's funny because like as I was doing my watercolor crayon comparison, I kind of was not really poo-pooing the gelatos, but I was kind of being like, you know, I don't think they're the best bang for your buck. But then I've been using them a lot lately because I like the blunt end. They're just very handy. And so like I actually ended up bringing these back into my studio and just leaving them in here because I was using them so much. Let's grab a few just random colors. I want those kind of like school colors, you know, just kind of like brights, actually kind of like the gel sticks that you can get that are way cheaper than the gelatos. Anything like that, distress crayons, gelatos, the super crayons, the super gel crayons, any of those are going to be fine and dandy for this. And something else, I do recommend using a baby wipe for this technique. And as you can see, I've been using this one for weeks. I just rinse it out. And the reason I like it is because it's almost like a dryer sheet. It's very glidey on your paper. So if you use dryer sheets, just save your dryer sheets and use them for this. Just moisten them, and then you can use them to blend your gelatos around. It doesn't pick up much of the stuff. In fact, it leaves most of the stuff on the paper, and that's why you can keep using it over and over again. So I did get rid of using baby wipes in my studio about 3 or 4 years ago, but then just sometimes you got a gross mess, right? You got something gross going on, and you don't want to use your rag because you don't want that to go in the you don't want it to go in the trash. Now you can use paper towels, but sometimes your paper towels just, you need something a little more durable. So I did get a package of baby wipes at the grocery store, and I've been using it for like a few months. So it's not like I'm going through them very quickly, but for some things I do think it's a little bit, because some things are so gross, you don't want to it's going to be more wasteful to use a ton of water washing something out in the sink and then throwing it in the washing machine, you know what I mean? Whatever. I'm not judging you. Please don't judge me. Do whatever you want to do. Alright, so I want to do a little bit of background. I like that blue. I'm also going to take this and use a blender pen. These are essentially water-based clear markers, and they're really great for using. You can use these with like chalks, like pastels or decorator chalks. You can use them with watercolor pencils. You can use them with gelatos. If they get really gross and clogged up from doing this, just scribble them off on a paper. But if they get super bad, just rinse them, and then when they go dry, I just refill them with glycerin and water. I just put glycerin and water in a little cup, kind of like a film canister type cup. Somebody gave me the greatest tip. They said, because you can't find film canisters, and those things are so great for putting masking fluid and stuff in. And they said that if you know somebody that has that uses diabetic testing supplies, that the little strips that the little strips come in like a container that you can use for that. And I thought that's a fantastic idea. Now that one's metallic. I don't want to use that. Let's use this peach for the little erasers. Maybe mix. We'll mix a couple colors. Use a little bit of peach and a little bit of red, and we'll just mix those. So I thought that was a really neat idea. Just squirt a little. No, just scribble a little bit. You can also use like a tile or a palette or something. But this is just so nice because I had used markers on one of them, like water-based markers, and they were just too. I thought they were just too contrasty and bold. I'm not going to spend a ton of time coloring here. I'm just going to kind of tint it, kind of like you're tinting a photo, basically. I think it's fun just to get out your supplies and play. So whatever you have that's similar, you don't have to have this. You could use your paint. You could use acrylics. You could use whatever. You could use gel pens. Use what you have, guys. Don't feel like you need to run out and get the, the latest and greatest, because that's what I have. Like, for instance, I do have, I have a Tombow marker here. I have a couple of gray markers. Why don't I use markers for the metallic parts? That would work. Although I think I need, those are some vastly different shades. I think I need a medium. Let's grab those two. I think that's too dark. Okay. So I can go in and I can do like the little gray ferrules on the top of the pencil here. This is not like going to be your best paper for any sort of coloring. It's, just manila tag. If you don't have tags, you could just take like cream cardstock or a manila folder, and you could cut out tag shapes. So that one doesn't really have much of a, oh, you know what? I think the top of that's supposed to be silver, and I colored it like an eraser. That's all right. Who cares? Right? Nobody's going to look at my card saying, how come that pencil doesn't have a little silver thing on it? And I would say, you've got too much time on your hands, Nancy. That's fine. Stop nitpicking. What have you made today? I won't say that, but I've been thinking it. Not that I don't think anyone would do that. Nobody's going to be like, how come that doesn't look like this? If they do, it just shows you they're really looking at your art. They're really dissecting it. There we go. But when I went with like darker, when I went with the markers to, what the heck, I got them right here. I just thought they were a little bold. I thought they were, well, this one's not. Do you see how, well, it's just really contrasty, and I don't know, I think that might be a little bit too dark as I color them this dark. I always can use the other side, so it's not that big of a deal, but it's about balance, and I thought that was kind of dark. But we're going with it now, apparently. Let's do some orangey yellow color here. Ooh, that is darker than it looks. Also, this paper is very porous, so stuff looks a lot darker on it. The brush pens will blend a little bit easier, so if you are struggling, go with the brush pens if you have them. And I guess I'll do a red. Do this really light pinky red. Maybe that'll be about right. Could add some of that to the erasers. That's about the right eraser color, honestly. If you do go over a weird medium, just kind of scribble it off so you don't get sediment on your brush nibs. Actually, that looks kind of cute, I think. I'll use this as kind of like a wood color. So I originally said don't use markers, but this is going to be fine. Plus, I'd kind of like to use up some of these, like these old Spectrum Noir markers, because the nibs are kind of just like flopping. So I kind of would like to use them up and get them out of my storage rack, because there's plenty of ink left in them. There, and if you want to do a little bit of a distressing around the edges, I would do that with a gelato, because they're or you can do an ink pad. Honestly, use whatever you like, but it's really easy to go over the edge and then just kind of rouge it in with a wet baby wipe or a wet sponge or something like that. Or if you want a really kind of watercolory, whimsical look, you could do a paintbrush. I might have added a little bit too much, but we got 2 tries on every one of these guys. We got a front and a back. I think that looks just fine. I think it's kind of cute, actually. And there's our back side. We can do more to it, or we can just leave it. So I'm going to color the other ones, same techniques. You don't need to see that. That'd be boring. When we come back, we're going to start collaging some of our fake ancestors. Alright, I was just kind of coloring. I used a mixture of gelatos and markers, just, you know, nothing a big deal, nothing fancy. And I want to do a little bit of antiquing. Again, I'm going to do it with the gelatos, and this little area where you go from like the ruler to the pencils, I want a shadow there. So I'm just going to put my Post-it note down so I have a nice crisp edge, and then I'm just going to smudge it and smudge it up. And that will also like just kind of take care of any nasty coloring. Now look at that. So there's a comparison. That's with the shadow, that's without. I think the shadow really makes it look great. Let's do it to this one as well. I'm not sure if I'm going to rouge the edges of the other one or not. This color is some of a color chocolate. Now the gelatos now have they have a clear barrel. So if you go to the art supply store and you're looking for these, they're going to look a little bit different. They look like chapstick, but they've got a clear barrel instead of the plastic one. But if you get the kids gel sticks, they look like this still. So I think maybe they did that so they didn't quite look so much like the kids product. So, you know, they could justify charging like 3 times the price or whatever it is. Oh, I like that. What do you think, guys? I think that's pretty snazzy looking. Oh, I think it's cute. I think I will do a little bit of a rouging around the edges here. It's pretty, I think I will, just because the background up top isn't that smooth. I think that'll look good. You can also do this with an ink pad. You could do it with a sponge and ink. You could do it with a paintbrush and paint. I think a lot of times people are just like, oh, I don't know if I can use that. It's not exactly what the person online used. Yes, you totally can. You're getting pigment on paper. And I love these techniques because if you made a mistake, it's going to look like it's on purpose once you start adding these different techniques. Like, this is pretty messy. I don't really want a background in it, so I'm going to rouge it, but I'm going to rouge it with a lighter brown. This is more of like a burnt sienna color. Actually, I think this is just quote-unquote brown of the kids gel sticks here. Now, I don't believe either of these products are light fast. I saw a an article, one of you guys recommended it to me actually, this article on Kimberly Crick's blog. She also has a YouTube channel. She does a lot of reviews of and light fast tests for watercolor, but she did an article on her blog where she did a light fast test for the gelatos, and it was a couple of years ago, and they did not fare that well, which was, you know, kind of a bummer, because Faber-Castell goes out of their way to say that these are artist quality products, and they're, you know, they're light fast, and that's why they're more expensive than the gel sticks, which are a kid's product that they make. But it doesn't really seem like that is the case. I mean, if you're putting it in a scrapbook, you know, if its scrapbook stays closed, it's going to be fine, you know, most of the time. It's not like hanging on the wall. But, I mean, people scrapbook to preserve their memories. So if you're saying something is, you know, not going to fade, people might want to hang up that, you know, that layout. Oh, now I feel like I need more color in between. Maybe just a little bit. I'm just using my fingers here. You might need to stop and wash your hands at some point before we start putting the cards together. Otherwise, you might end up with some smudges on your card bases. So keep that in mind. I mean, look at my fingers. They're pretty messy. So I'm just going to try to bring that color in a little bit. I'm not going to get too fussy with it because, you know, if you're really bothered and you're like, oh, I just need more color, I would suggest like a spray ink, I think. I think that would look really good. And maybe I'll do some rouging on the back side too. I'm going to use that same color, because why not? You get perfect blends with products like this. And it's, you know, they just hold really well. And they're nice and bold, but you can blend them out to the level that you like. There. Let's see, we've got this one here. Let's also do that shading trick. And see, you really don't even notice the areas where the, you know, the stamp had that little bit of a halo around it. You don't really notice that too much when you're doing these techniques, but I am going to trim that one out just because, you know, sometimes I'm doing cleaner work and I do want to have a clean look on those. I want to do the same dark color I used around the edges. Could also, like, if that background was that blue is too dark, you could go in with some white or some lighter blue. I'm going to zoom out a little bit. I feel like I keep going off. Hopefully not. Get into what you're doing and then you don't notice. Let's do a little bit on the back side too. Take my background paper and make something with that. That'd be a good backing to an art journal page or something. I don't really do, I filled an art journal a couple years ago. It took me a while to do it. And I rarely look back at it, like, much less than I do my sketchbooks. So, I don't know. I don't think I'm an art journaler. It's fun. Ooh, what's this color? Let's do some of that in the background. I had somebody ask me about gelatos. They had some and they had kind of dried out on them. And they asked if there was any way to revive them. I think you could just kind of maybe spritz it with a little bit of water, or even like a low percentage. I would probably do water mixed with rubbing alcohol just in case there's any bacteria. And I think you probably do that to, like, reconstitute it a little bit. It's like when I see them without the edging, I'm like, oh, it looks pretty without the edging, but then I see it with the edging, I'm like, oh no, that looks way better. If you're doing this on a glossy paper, you might need to laminate it or seal it. This is a porous paper. It's going to absorb any of the waxiness of the gelatos. Let's see how these all look. Oh yeah, let's do a little edge on that one too. Why not? I'm about ready to retire this paper though, because it's got hot glue on the back, which makes stamping a little problematic. Let's do, I like that warmer brown for this, I think. I should have just went with a warmer brown. That's what I was thinking, but I had the darker on the other side. That's alright. These blend together really well. Blending dry will, if eliminate any pilling. If you're noticing your tags, you've really just done a lot to them, and the paper wants to start to break down. If we start doing dry techniques, it should help. All right, at this point, I'm going to go wash my hands and pick up and remove the paper, and when we come back, we're going to start collaging and putting our cards together. All right, we got our tags out here, and now it's time to determine what side we like the best, which can be a little tricky because they're both kind of pretty. I definitely feel like the stamp side definitely has that kind of like school supplies vibe to them, so it would be nice with like kids type, the little kid paper dolls. But let's just take a look here. I don't think I've used any of the just guys. So let's look at the guys here. And oh, I kind of like that tall guy with those pencils. I kind of like that guy sitting on the bunch of rulers there. Holy cow. And let's see. That's kind of pretty. Let me look at the kids now. Well, that one's kind of cute too. That's definitely got a school type feel to it. I kind of like that one, because then that could be like a school card. Well, this is a young man, so he could actually be school age, like college age or something. Let's set them both there as options. I don't know what side I want to use there. Oh wait, we've got these little girls. Oh, I kind of like that. That's weird. It's like Alice in Wonderland there. Okay, let's do... That's kind of cool. I hate covering up those pencils for some reason. I think I had one that had a boy and a dog. Oh, we've also got that one with a flag. That's kind of cute. Looks kind of like a Girl Scout. I'm going to see if I can find... I was pretty sure I saw one that was a boy and a dog. I might have to take them all out. But at least having them divided by topic is a bit easier because... Oh, there's one boy with a dog. They come with like different sizes of the same image, which is kind of neat. Because if something doesn't quite fit, you've got a different scale that you can use. That one's even bigger. That one's too big. Oh, I love this kid with a bugle. That's really cute too. He looks like a scout. Like a Boy Scout. You have the boy with a bugle and the girl with a flag. That could go on like a scouting page or something. Now let's see. I do like the kid with the dog, but I think I need to go with the smaller one. Just looks way too small. I don't like how it covers up so much. I think it's easier to use images of women than men. So this will be a challenge. But these colors are a little more bold, so I think that works all right. Those will be fine. Okay, so these are the boy die cuts. These are the girls. All right. So to glue these down, if you want to add other things, you can. That's up to you. Whatever you want to do. Let me use the Elmer's. I like this because it's so thin, and this is just paper to paper, so it works pretty well. I typically will set like a stamp block down on these, and that will just kind of hold them in place. If any glue does seep down, a stamp block doesn't seem to stick, which is really nice. So this will be challenging for me because these are kind of masculine, and I tend to go for feminine style motifs. Let's move him. Oh gosh, I'm gonna have a snail trail here. See, your coloring on the pencils and stuff doesn't really matter too much, because by the time you're done, you know, you have you know, you've covered up so much. And I'll show you how to add some shading later too. But we'll just get this done now so we can let it dry. I love how there's so many little paper dolls in there. I was going to look up the price on that. I can't remember what I paid. I probably used like a 40% coupon. So I'm thinking it was probably between like $6 and $10 for that big thing of collage elements. Another lot to sell in there. That's just the best tip for gluing stuff down, the stamp, using the clear blocks. I did wash my hands. My fingers are a little stained from the ink earlier, but I'm not worried about that. Lava soap works really well for that, but I didn't have any out on my sink at the moment. And this last gentleman looks like he could have like a leash or something, because he's got his, looks like he's holding something, or he should have a cane or something, I don't know. I wonder where they found these old old faux relatives. Probably at junk shops. Sad to think though that there are like photographs that, like, you know, people didn't want, and they just kind of just ended up at a junk shop. It's really kind of sad when you think that, like, they didn't take that many pictures back then, so, you know, that would have been big deal to take your picture. Alright, so I'm actually going to stack these up if I can, as long as there's going to be a strong area for them to dry, and that way it won't take up too much space. Now we get our lovely little pockets. And I've got some washi tape. Washi tape actually sticks really well to this. I was surprised. I ordered these little postage stamp washis on Amazon about a month ago, and I shared them with you guys in my trinket tag video. They are so cute. And you got 8 rolls for like $15, but every little piece is a little postage stamp. I just think it's so cute. So I'll probably use some of these more, or I should say less flowery images. Mushrooms are good. Let's see, so what do I have? They're all boys except for one of the small ones, which is girls, so I'm gonna save that one. Ooh, got some coffee ones. Let me see, what's this roll? The only thing that's too bad is that, oh, that one's cute. It's got like a little boy and a girl sharing secrets. I love that. Oh, and then you got some cute little people. The only thing that's too bad is that if like the one you want is like a few ones deep in there, you kind of have to peel them off, and then I always am getting those ones I pull off and stick to the edge of my table. I get them stuck to my sleeves, and I never get to use them because I'm just wearing them. Well, I guess I get to use them. I get to wear them all over the place, so that's not what I'm going for. Let's see, what are these? These are fruits. Fruit works. Fruit is pretty versatile. These are all perfume bottles. Those are pretty. I haven't used any of those yet. I know I have one with animals. Oh, that's got bugs and birds. I'm starting with these just because they'll take up a nice little embellishment spot. What do I do with a little? Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. I'm missing one. It's probably the animal one that I need. And I am sure, here it is. Oh, it's a kitty cat. Ooh, this deer. Let's put the deer on one of them. That's really, oh, there's bunnies. I like those bunnies. Oh, there's lots of bunnies. That'll be nice at Easter time. And let's see, what else? Kind of forget, what was the other one? There was a small one with a boy and his dog. And there was a small one with 2 girls. Maybe. Oh, the coffee one. I kind of could do one of the coffee one with the older gentleman. It can be a little tricky to find the ends of these because they all have these like, because they've got the postage stamp edge, they're kind of scalloped, so it can be tricky to find, to see where your end is and then to peel it up. So keep that in mind. You want to be gentle. Alright, and the other one, the little boy and the dog. I want these. Oh, I could put a cat. That would be kind of cute. Oh, there's so many different designs on each one of these. Maybe I won't put any stamp on that one. Alright, and then I've got some other washi tape. I've got some birds, and I've got a measuring tape, and I've also got some music notes. So I think our dapper gentleman will have some music notes. Maybe both. I'll do music notes on both of the big ones. And where's the end of this tape? There we go. Gotta remember to put it right side up. I put enough down that I can wrap around the back. You can even like have double the amount so that it'll wrap and meet, so in case you can see through a little bit. But it's always behind itself, so I don't think it really shows up that much. So if you want to do that, feel free, but don't feel like you have to. You can also add paper and decorate it with that too. I'm really surprised that the washi tape doesn't seem to lift, because it will lift on the Distress Oxide backgrounds. You'll probably want to do like a glue underneath it. I'm going to do music and measuring tape on the other one, I think. So see, that's the nice thing about doing like a bunch of things with the same like batch of supplies, because everything's going to kind of match. All your scraps are going to go together pretty well, so you don't have to. This is kind of strange. If you look at this tape, I've had this tape for a long time. It's a little bit uneven, like the coloring's a little bit uneven, and I just think that maybe some color transferred over the years. I did not stick that down very well. Didn't line it up too well, I should say. It stuck down just fine, and it's crooked, but oh well. And let's see, I didn't find anything that I wanted to use. I think I will use a measuring tape though on the one with the boy. The one with the little boy with the dog. I'm sure I have perfect pet washi tape in the other room, but I'm trying to, like if this was a birthday card and the kid was turning one of these ages, you could just put like a little cabochon around it or a little frame around it or something like that for the age. That would be really cute. I'm just looking in my cart next to me, seeing if I see anything that looks like it would go really well. It's very tempting to I'm just gonna, I don't want to open that can of worms. Yeah, I'll deal with that in a bit. Okay, so let's see, what was the first thing I glued down? Maybe I'll start with the easier one. That would be doing the one with the little girls there. I'm gonna put some music, I think. Oh, why is this one so hard to start? Here we go. Maybe a little bit of ribbon, not ribbon, a little bit of string on that one. I'm just going to tie a knot in the back. You could have the knot in the front, that's up to you. Just depends on what you like the look of. Try not to let it bend too much when you do that. You can put the tag in there if you want, if it wants to fold up on you too much. I think that's going to be all right. All right, we're going to start with that one. That one I think I glued down first anyway, and it seems pretty well set. And grab a card base. I just have some 5x7 card bases here. You really want to make sure your fingers are clean and your table's fairly clean. That's why I use that paper underneath all my inking, so I know that I've kind of corralled it. And I'm going to choose a background paper. Might be able to use that one. I couldn't use that one before because the other tag, I was doing one with a similar theme, but the tag was too big. Let's see. She's peeking out. She's peeking out over the edge there. Let's see, if I take the tag out, will you be able to see that she's holding up a pattern? Yes, I think so. I gotta trim those off. All right, so I can put that there, and you can see that she's holding a pattern. Then I'll probably take a scrap of paper and tear it, put it along the top. This one's got some scissors and sewing notions. That would work really well. And I want to tear it so the white edge is on that top piece. All right, that will work. Trim from the back so that you get a really nice, neat edge. And then if you want to ink it, you can. I'm going to use ink pads for this because I don't want it to get, I don't want to have to like rub a gelato and get that all over my hands. So I'm just going to do a very basic inking. I'm going to stamp along the edges too, so I don't want to have too much dark there. And we can put this on our card base. And then we can do some stamping. I'm going to go back with the archival ink and my little, let's see, I've got a couple stitch stamps right on here. Let me see, do I want to use those or do I want to use a different one? Oh, I think I want to do that loop-de-loop one because I actually have room for that one. Put it on this block. Classic stamps never go out of style, so if you have stamps and you like them, don't get rid of them for the next greatest thing if you like them. Which should go without saying, but it doesn't for some reason. For a lot of people. I think it's a confidence thing. I think sometimes people feel like, well, I can't be seen using that product because that won't be cool. Everybody else is using this product now. You know, I don't want to be out of style. Instead of just kind of embracing it and being like, hey, you know, I still like this. I think a lot of times you want to impress people and be like, hey, look, I'm using this greatest, latest thing. I'm one of the cool kids. I don't think anyone cares, really. And anybody who's getting one of your handmade cards probably isn't a card maker themselves, and they are not going to know that you're using stamps from 2005. And they're probably not going to care, even if they did know. Why would they care, right? Some of my favorite stamps, those old personal stamp exchange stamps, those are so pretty. I wouldn't suggest this particular stamp for a beginner. This one's a little bit, I'm not sure if I really like that pattern, but now that I see it on the card, but I think it's fine. It looks very wire coily or something. I don't know, it doesn't look as stitchy as the other ones did, but that's alright. I mean, it's fine. Let's add a little, maybe one of these guys? I don't know. Do I have room for that? I do if I trim it. If I trim, I can add a little, oh, that's going to cover up my little notions though. Let's just see what it looks like if I put the tag on there. And where'd my little, here it is. Okay, so I'm gonna adhere that down, because that way when the tag comes out you can actually still see something on the paper, because you want that to be useful. That way if they want to take the tag out and use it as a bookmark, they can still put their card up for display and it's going to be pretty. Score tape will stick much better to this glassine than the ETG gun. It's hard for the tape runners to lay it down. It kind of wants to not stick to the glassine and go back into the tape runner, so it can kind of gum up the work, so I recommend this. And if you're making your own bags with like wax paper, it's going to be very difficult for that to stick with the with like a regular adhesive roller. Oh, I got to put some strings on there. Let's see, that was much darker than the other ones. Oh, let's add them. Maybe they're twins. Let's give them matching peach dresses. This could be a Mother's Day card, it could be a birthday card, it could be back to school. Actually, I'll probably look at this and say, yeah, that side looked better. Ooh, maybe I should decorate the back side too, and then it can be flipped around. I definitely recommend using an alcohol marker for coloring on these glossy tags. Then again, I mean, that blue is kind of cute. Let's see. Oh, let's use, I got this, and how about this? Does kind of clash a little bit. I think I might flip it around and decorate the other side. It'll be a 2-for-1 special. You get 2 sides. You get faux ancestors on both sides. You get 2 sets of faux ancestors for the price of 1. That's frugal, friends. That's frugal. So there's one side. Let's see what we can do on the other side. Let's just stick that in there for a minute so we can appreciate our hard work that we put into it so far. Now, why won't you go in there? Am I trying to? There we go. Good grief. All right. I'm gonna find another faux ancestor. Let's see, kids, girls. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, look at those sisters. I think they're sisters. I like those. Yeah, let's do those. Sorry, ladies. Bye, sisters. I'll put those on there. That looks better. I already like it better. You know what? I'm just gonna put some of this down to clamp it. Little woodworking trick. You put some double-sided adhesive down to hold it in place, and then you put the glue to keep the edges down. But the double-sided tape will keep it where it needs to be until the glue dries. That way we don't have to wait around. We can have instant gratification. Because this is YouTube after all. Should I color the dresses? Oh my gosh, I'm getting warm. Alright, back in a second. I gotta take my sweatshirt off. I'm dying here. Alright, turned my register down. Holy moly, that was warm. Yeah, we'll just do a nice photo tinting here of the dresses with our alcohol marker in peach. Colors will show up a lot later on this glossy cardstock than they will on regular paper, so just kind of keep that in mind. And the colors might beat up a little bit because it is like it just puddles. The ink is just going to puddle on there. This is going to be the longest video, but the last one you guys were like, bring it on! Of course, to be fair, I think a lot of you guys watched it to help you fall asleep, so hey, whatever. Watch time is watch time in the YouTube algorithm world. So whether you watch this video to fall asleep or or because you want to craft along, I'm here for you. I support your decision. Let's give them pink socks. Why not? I don't know about that now that I've done it. Maybe I can wipe it off. I probably could with a little alcohol. Maybe I'll just buff out a little bit of that where it's puddly. Oh, that's cute. I like that much better. Alright, let's stick that right in there. Oh yeah, that's much better. That's cute. That would be like, happy birthday, sister. You know, one sister to another. Maybe I'll send that to my sister in October when it's her birthday. Alright, we need a couple white buttons from the large button. Pour some into the lid. There we go. I'm not going to search that whole jar for the perfect button. I think some people are like, you know, it's got to be perfect. I got to have the perfect paper and I've got to have the perfect button. And seriously, probably anyone is just as good as any other one. You just get so fixated on having the most perfect one. I'm going to take a sliver of paper and thread those buttons. So I love this tip. Maybe you've heard of it before, maybe you haven't. I'm going to assume you haven't because it's so good I want to share. Actually, I don't know. Who did I hear this tip from? This was a long time ago. Erin Lincoln, I'm thinking. She was like she used to write for a scrapbook magazine. I'm pretty sure that's where I saw this tip and I just thought it was fantastic. You take a little sliver of your matching scrapbook paper and you thread the button with it. And, you know, it's so much quicker than trying to thread paper. I mean, trying to thread string. And it looks fantastic. And you've always got these little slivers of paper on your desk, you know, when you're crafting. You always got these little random slivers. Is that one gonna fit through? So yeah, I use that a lot. Because yeah, if I would go nuts, and you guys would go nuts because it would be like 25 minutes of me trying to thread baker's twine through a button, and nobody's got time for that. Except for you folks that are watching this so you can fall asleep. Well, you might enjoy that actually. Maybe I'll start a second channel. Fall asleep to crafting tutorials. I think that's what I should do with my marketing. I should be like, trouble sleeping? Have I got the video for you, friends? Do you like to watch paint dry and glue dry? Well, you're gonna love my YouTube channel. So maybe I was going about it all wrong, putting out YouTube shorts. I should be putting out very long videos so people can fall asleep. I did have a comment on one of my videos saying that I like to watch videos to fall asleep, and this was not relaxing. I laughed on that one. I really did. I don't take criticism very well. I've recently realized. All right, this is kind of boring, I've got to say. I'm not. I want to do something different. I want to add something. I think. Oh, you know what? This is random. I was this junk mail came yesterday, and it had like stickers, like stamps in it. I'm not going to tell you what the company was that sent it because it was disreputable. But, well, I don't know if it's disreputable. I was not interested in their offerings, but the fact that there were little stickers. Remember the Publishers Clearinghouse? Do you remember that? And when I was a kid, I used to love it when my mom would get like one of those junk mails, Publishers Clearinghouse, because she would let me have the stickers. And I used to like, because you paste the stickers down, you'd order magazine subscriptions or whatever they were trying to get you to buy. And I used to love playing with those and just like sticking the stickers, little stickers on everything. And this is like a lick and stick sticker, but we're in a pandemic. I'm not licking it. I mean, my God. So that's what that reminds me of. But so also, I've got a stamp right here. It's a little postage thingy. I'll stamp that on there too. You got to be careful not to ink up the corners. It's one of those foam ones. I know I don't like those stamps that much with the foam backing, but I love this little postmark. Ooh, looks good. Okay, should I do another little stamp? What else do we have? One of those perfume bottle ones. Oh, how about this lady right here? She looks like a Gibson girl. Let's put her right up there. You can still tell there's sewing notions. I think we still get a gist. So we've got We got some art happening here. I like that. So you might want to ink the edges of your postage there. I don't know, it's up to you. They do kind of like blend in because it's like that washi tape material, which is very similar to Glassine actually. So if you want to do that, go ahead. I did it for some of mine. And there we go. We got one done. I don't know, maybe that's a little too bold, but I think it's fine. I think it's cute. Alright, let's keep on trucking. We'll add that to the pile of finished cards for the day. And the next one we have is a little boy and his dog. So we need some ribbon for that guy. We're going to do this. I like this ribbon. And you know what? I think I might just do this one a couple times and this one once. That's kind of fun ribbon. I like that. Fibers, man. Remember when fibers were all the rage? I'm bringing them back. Let me know in the comments below if you want me to bring fibers back. Like I have any influence. I'm just going to say they're back in style and anybody who wants to can use them. You should use whatever you want anyway. You know, some little metallic threads would also be really cute in this. Oh, but you gotta draw the line somewhere. Don't you? Maybe you don't. Alright. I like to fold the ribbon in half and put it through the front side of the tag. I like that because then you get the little like a lanyard, little knot looking thing on the front. I'm gonna need to trim that down. Oh, I wasted some because I got too much. Why won't that pull through? There we go. That's cute. These are not great for ribbon because I always use them for paper. I'll trim it down when I'm all done. I want to add a little shading under his feet. I am gonna do that with the gelato though, even though I said I wasn't gonna use the gelatos because I didn't want to get stuff all over my fingers, but I'm going to do a little of this light brown and a little bit of the darker brown. Fish it out of there. It should be right on top. I just used it. I have a bin that's just slightly too small. That's what I'm trying to do. Don't worry about getting it on the people because it'll wipe off because the people are glossy. Our faux ancestors are glossy. I'm going to grab a smaller piece of junky background paper. Oh, you know what would have been cute? If I had a little grass die cut. But again, drawing the line. See, if I wipe it with a paper towel, I'm going to wipe it off their feet, but it's going to stick to the background and be delightful. There we go. You can tint his clothes if you want, but I don't think I'm going to do that. I think that's fine. Oh, do I have any grass? No, I don't. I've got some random foliage, though. Alright, great. Now I've got, like, I gotta wash my fingers. See, that's where a baby wipe would have come in handy if you don't want to run upstairs and wash your hands, but actually I just had a bowl of water over there, so that works too. Let's see what I have for backgrounds. Oh, let's see. Ooh, our music paper. I think our music paper will work lovely for this. I might have to, I might want to actually grab a different thing. Okay, this is his little envelope. Okay, I like the, you know, that would have been cute also with the bugle boy, with the guy with the bugle. That would have been really cute too. Let's look at our paper pad because there was some really cute like typewriter keys that I think would be really awesome to use. Oh, don't you love that? That's so pretty. I need to focus. I need to find the typewriter keys. There we go. And I'm going to leave this actually in the paper pad. I'm just going to tear it. There we go. And that way I'll be able to find that. A lot of times what I'm doing when I have like a set of when I have a paper stack and then I have a bunch of scraps, I put them in those little my little pocket envelopes. These are from like you can get these on Amazon. They're super cheap. They're CD packets, envelopes, CD envelopes. And I take all the scraps, like when I'm done, I'll just take all the scraps left over and I will put them in, one of those. And that way, I'm going to tear it so I get the white on this side. And then, so when I'm using that pad of paper again, I don't have to cut a full sheet if I just need a little bit of something. I'll just go for the scraps first. I used to just sort all my scraps with, like in hanging file folders, kind of by the basic color, the main color of the scrap. And that worked for, you know, many years. But then I decided that I wanted to do it this way, and this way is working too. So, you know, you can do whatever you want to do. But I just wanted to share that in case you needed a new way. What I did with all those other papers, all my scraps, what I'll show you here, I did a video on it. I took them and I punched them and tore them and made a bunch of just backgrounds. And so I can grab those to make quick cards. I really should use them more because, you know, because I clearly don't. They're still sitting there. I have used quite a few of them, but I think it was more fun just making the papers. Sometimes I just like to make supplies more than actually use them. Alrighty, now maybe we'll put him over there. Well, we can like that. I love how little puppy's peeking out. I wish I had like a little frame or something so he'd be peeking out through the little window there. That would be kind of cute. Let me think on that. Let me think. Do I have something that I could use for that in? See, that's the thing. I'm sure I have something I can use for that. Do I have something I can use for that in here? Because I'm sure I have something I can use for it out there. That'd be, I could actually just cut a little window in there. Oh, that would be adorable. That would be so cute. That would be really cute. But can I do it neatly? I don't know if I can do that neatly, if I can cut a little hole in that neatly. I could punch a hole that went through. Oh, do I still have that one punch in here we used last week? Alright guys, I've got to go in the other room because I really need to put a little hole for that dog to peek out of. I just can't help it. It's too cute. Okay guys, leap of faith. I think this is going to be perfect. But I've got to punch a hole in order for this to work, and I'm hoping, I think I need to, like, see, I got a little wiggle room. I can go back and forth a little bit, so I'm thinking that like right there, I'm going to just put a dot with a marker right in the middle of where I want the punch to be. Oh, I hope I can punch through this. I'm going to, should I put a scrap of paper in there? Oh shoot, is it not going to reach? Well, you know, where's my, I can trim it a little bit lower. It cuts alright, so I'm thinking it will probably punch alright. I'm hoping. Please don't tear. Oh, I think it's going to be so cute. Oh, I can tell it's not going to. I got to put a piece of scrap paper in there. Let's put this in there. And hopefully that will give it enough crispiness to punch through. Please, 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 don't tear. Wish me luck, guys. 1, 2, 3, go! Ah! I think it worked. It worked. Haha. Nice. Look at that little peeking through. It's cute. Look how cute his little face. Oh, can't stand it. So cute. So cute. Oh, and he's got a little frame. Oh, he's the cutest thing ever. Alright, we need I feel like I need a little bit of he needs a little something. Maybe just a little twig. Yeah. Of course it's the bottom of the packet that I want. Plus I think that might help things adhere if I've got a little something like that. That's kind of cute. I still feel like it needs, maybe I'll give it a button flower. Maybe I'll snip this little. See, it's not very fascinating seeing how my brain works. That works. I like that. I think it works all right. Okay, so I really don't want to accidentally glue this little envelope shut. So I'm going to very carefully, actually I don't think I would glue it shut because it's got a hole. It would just fall through the back, I think. Oh crap. Oh yay, it landed glue side up. Today's my lucky day. I should go buy one of those lottery tickets that people are buying. All right. If I had a little piece of wax paper, I'd stick it in there. Wait a minute. Where's that piece I just cut off? It's not exactly wax paper, but I think... I don't need to do that. Famous last words. Where's my glue? Oh my, it's making a big glue bubble. Oh yeah, I can use that. I've probably about used that up. I'm going to glue our little fabric covered button, which is really cute. For our little button flower, and then nice flat embellishment. Hopefully it will glue down well, because I think that is just the cutest idea. I don't think I need to go all the way around. I think that's probably good. And since a punch was just ever so slightly smaller than the frame, it should be fine. Oh, I don't even think I need to weigh it down either. Oh, yay. Okay, great. Let's just set this and that tag. I'm going to set it over on my phone. I won't lose it that way, I don't think. And grab myself another card base. I've been using up, like since the pandemic, I've been trying to use up a lot of stuff in my craft room. And I had these 5x7 card bases, and they were actually there was a 5x7 jelly plate kit, and it came with like 50 or 100 or 75 or something like that card bases. And I found that I didn't really like printing directly on the cards, because if you made a mistake, you wasted a whole card. I didn't really like that. So, and I didn't like how that had a little bit of a texture to it for my jelly prints. I'd rather have something much slicker, like a smooth cardstock. So I've been just using up those card bases. They're really nice, actually. They're a Strathmore printmaking card base, I think. They're probably meant to go through a printing press. So I do feel like it's kind of overkill, but on the other hand, it's like, it's bought and paid for. I have them. I might as well just use them for what I want to use them for and not just save them for the perfect project, you know? Okay, now I could put some other things in here if I want to. I do love these little cut apart thingies. I think they're really fun. I've also got these. I like it because I feel like you could kind of put the card together, the tag together, and then when it comes time to actually give it to somebody, then you can decide, you know, if you want to. I don't know where my little distress tool went. It's in the pile. It's in the hoard somewhere here on my table. I'm just going to kind of distress the edges here. Then you could write like happy birthday or stamp a little happy birthday or a thanks or a congratulations or whatever up in there. And that way it's kind of like a blank card until you're ready to use it. I like that. I'll use a little distress ink on that. Of course, maybe be a little neater with the distress ink so, you know, your stamping can actually show up, but... Oh yeah, and we'll need to use some of that music note because we've got so much music note going on back there. That would be really cute. Do a little bit of, I like to have the washi tape just kind of hanging off the side sometimes. Not like a full piece. Just wrap it around the back. And music note, where did you go? Oh my gosh, I have such a mess. I picked up, before I started, oh, I've got this number one. Let's use that too. And if the music notes ever turn up, we can use that one as well. I have a lot of washi tape. I keep them all, oh, that's pretty. I keep them all in a like a letterpress tray, and it's kind of against the wall in my storage area, because the old area where I used to film is now, I just keep it as a storage area. I keep all my supplies organized in there because it's just, they're just so practically organized. I always liked my organization over there. The only thing I didn't like was, you know, it was cold. I like the sound of the audio over there too, except for the basement appliances, which I can hear in here as well. But yeah, everything was just so, I had room for everything. The storage was so good that I kind of hated to. I'm going to scoot that up so that way I do have room. Oh, that would be really cute with a staple too if you wanted to. I don't have a stapler in here. My fascinator is in the other room, and somebody called it a frustrator. And I was like, oh, that's perfect. I think exactly is. Oh, that's so fun to look at the old scrapbooking tools. I'm telling you, they came up with some really ridiculous ones. I'm going to use the score tape to attach this because it's very strong. I'm losing my people. I'm losing my relatives. The score tape is so strong. This glue here is nice, 3-in-1 beacon adhesive, except it makes a little glue blurb after you're done gluing. So it's like, kind of like you want to glue a couple things at once and just don't squeeze it for the last one. Just use the glue blurb that comes up at the top and then cap it. But I'm never that prepared or organized. Now I'm going to put the tag in there ever so carefully. The only bad thing about cutting your tags is that you've got them, they often are at the same level, so it can be difficult to pull them apart. That dog is so cute. It's like a little Rascal's dog. So adorable. Alright, put him right there. Need a little something there. What shall we put? Oh, little bunnies? Why not? I'm going to ink the edges. I'll show you that technique. I talked about it a couple times. So for these little washi tape postage stamps, and you wouldn't really see a lot of, you know, dark edges on a postage stamp, but I sometimes just need a little bit of contrast. I love how the washi tape is just kind of translucent and it just like matches everything because it, you know, because it's so translucent, but you also kind of lose a little bit. Oh, you know what I should have done? I should have put some baker's twine around that. That would have been cute, but I've already stuck it down, so I think we will leave it as is. Maybe I will leave those strands long. I could put more buttons. I could put more embellishments. It is a little plain, but, well, maybe. I like how these little stickers are very, I don't want to say generic, they're just very nature inspired, so I feel like they go with everything. Oh, I like how it's a little messy there. I'm going to leave that on there. I feel that's really, really nice. I think I'll put that on there, and then maybe put a couple more buttons. Oh, am I going to add stamping to this one? Yeah, maybe do a little bit of stamping, just here and there, not a ton. Because I do like the little stitched edges. And I think little details like that, excuse me, I'm going to clear my throat, add just a little bit of fun and whimsy. This one's really easy to line up. This pattern right here, I don't know if let me put my hand behind it. Can you see that? That's a really nice stitch pattern. It lines up really well. And the clear stamps, they have a little more smush to them, so you can go over the 2 layers more than a rubber. Rubber stamps are a lot denser, so they're not going to squish down. You're going to get that gap with no stamping on it with a rubber stamp. Ugh. Should have saw my table yesterday when I was doing the prototypes. Oh my gosh. And it still, it's not like it really, well, I guess it does. I'm quicker doing it this the second time through, but still, man, it's like, still takes an age, doesn't it? Oh, that's cute. Oh, you know what? We need to do our little postmark. That's what we need. Oh, and I've got some other postmarks. Let me go see what I have on my shelf. It's in this room, so I'm technically not cheating by going in the other room again. Okay, my story about this kid here. He's a world traveler, and he's been to various exciting places. So he's gonna have a couple of different postmarks on his little postage stamps here. Why not, right? All right, I'm calling this one done. I might trim off the fibers a bit, but I just love the dog's face. I think it's so cute. All right, do we have one? We got 2 more to go? Oh my gosh, I only made 2? Oh goodness. I really hope everything makes sense because my camera just ran out of memory card. I literally filled it with memory card so far. So hopefully we just finished up this card on camera and we are starting our next one with a cute little puppet face. Okay, so we've got 2. These 2 are going to go very similarly. We've got these 2 guys. Man, I like both sides of those tags. Let's go ahead and kind of like do them together because I can only imagine how long. I think that goes with both of them just fine. That's a great thing about doing the colors together is that everything tends to match pretty well. I love this flag type of, that flaggy ribbon. I'm going to get an extra long piece and then I'll cut it in half to make 2. And then I'm going to get 1 more strand of the flaggy stuff because that's so pretty. So if you went through that novelty yarn phase about 8 years ago, whatever, when were we making all those crazy things? I mean, all those crazy scarves, right? Remember that? And then you had like more scarves and you knew what to do with them. The scarves didn't actually keep you warm because they were more like made out of this crazy novelty yarn. And so now we have all these either full skeins left or partial ones, I don't know. Actually, this is going to be good. Let's put this in these 2 tags. I remember we used to have this great little yarn shop downtown, and you could actually go, you could like buy, they had all these like leftovers, things that were left over from like their samples and stuff, tiny little balls of yarn, and novelty yarn was all the rage back then. And you could just like fill a bag. You could just cut scraps off and fill a bag, and so and pay like a couple bucks. So me and Sarah would go down there and we'd buy like a scrap bag. We'd just buy scraps. And they were perfect for doing cards. That little yarn shop is no longer around. I wasn't knitting at that point. I didn't start knitting until after I was pregnant with... Oh, this tells you how long ago that was. It was before I was pregnant with Jackson. He just turned 18 a little while ago. Okay, those work out well. So I did cut down this paper here because I felt like I needed a more masculine design. I also think that for our dapper man with a top coat, top hat, and I think that would go good with that. Even though it was from the sewing themed, you don't really see this sewing themed stuff. Not that a man can't sew. I mean, I'm not a sexist person. Men can sew too. I think I'll put this one on this side because I like... Oh, maybe I'll just use that. Maybe I'll use both of those. I don't know, isn't that funny? That probably won't be a thing, like, in 20 years. There won't be, like, people won't put, like, sewing notions on women's cards and, like, power tools on Father's Day cards. It'll be so like, you know, what's the word? It'll be so passé to do that because it won't be seen as, like, a feminine or a masculine hobby. Don't you think? Oh, I like that. I like the torn edges. Bringing it back, friends. Bringing it back. Why don't we turn this so that most of our numbers are right size? Some of our numbers are right side up. Bringing back the trends, friends. Bringing back the torn edges, the decorative scissors. What else do we bring back today? Fibers. Oh, yeah. So when we start seeing, like, all the big companies coming out with these things again, you'll know who started the trend, right? Yeah, we can go ahead and stick those right down to some card bases. Definitely need to use the bone folder on these, though. I'm generally not a big fan of pre-folded card bases, but these are actually nice and thick and good. Like the ones that you get at the, I did not do a good job cutting, that's fine. The ones that you get in like those bulk packs at Michael's, those are not the best. The envelopes are fine, but I find the paper, the cards to be kind of flimsy. I think they're more just meant for like note cards or something. Okay, yeah, that's gonna bother me. I'm gonna trim that little bit off, and I think I'm also gonna go ahead and ink the edges. At least these edges here where it's light. Make them stand out from the card base a little bit. The rest of them I think are fine. Doesn't really need it. Wasted effort. There we go. I can't remember what envelope. I think I had the one with a coffee for him. Let's stick him in the envelope, make sure he's gonna fit. The when you have like a factory edge on your Glassine bag, it you have a gap. Actually, you have a gap either way because no, if you have the factory edge, you don't have a gap. It'll go all the way to the bottom. You'll see that on the other guy's thing because they fold it back and they adhere it in the back. So there is no, you don't have that gap at the bottom that you do from like our adhesive, because like we put that adhesive down at the bottom to close it up. On the factory ones, you can see they, well, you can't really see because I've put tape there, but they fold it up. You know what? I think I put the seam in the front. Oh my gosh, save me from myself. Put the seam in the front on that one. Oh well. It's still kind of cute. It's rustic. It's rustic. That's what you say. When you make a mistake and you've got something like inside out or backwards, you just say it's rustic. Can't really tell because it's glassine anyway and it's, you know, translucent, but it's easy on these because it's higher in the back. Oh, I got a smudge. Well, I guess I'm going to stick that a little bit lower than I intended because I got a smudge there. Oh man. That'll be a nice, lovely place for one of our little washi tape stamps or something. There, that's kind of cute. I mean, it's simple, right? It's simple, but it's kind of cute. What more do you need, really? Maybe one of these little stamps. I like that one with a B. It says believe. And what he's believing, he's gonna believe in something. We all should, right? Something. It's not gonna work right over the offending. Oh, you know what? I should have put baker's twine. Maybe I can. Oh, can I lift it up? Oh gosh, guys, I don't know about this. This seems like a bad idea. But you know what? It's probably not a bad idea if I lift up the whole bottom. That will work. Now where's my brown baker's twine? Right here. Because that's got a little more stability to it, so. Of course, if I do that, I'm not exactly getting over that smudge, but I could always glue a button there or something. Yes, and we'll just tie it in the front. Sorry guys, awkward knots twice in one video. But I'm sure you're all asleep by now, so I'll try to keep my voice all calming. I don't care if you want to watch my videos to fall asleep, to be honest. Doesn't bother me. I'm thrilled that somebody finds me relaxing. It's not the vibe I generally think I give off. Let's see. No, scooch that knot over here so it's a little off center. Yeah, I think that'll be all right. It's not like anyone's comparing these to somebody else's cards, like, last time I saw those, all those supplies used together, it was done better. It's like, yeah, nobody's used these supplies together before. These are my own concoction. That's kind of a creepy looking button. I like it. I'll spare you threading threading the buttons. Oh, look, this one actually has some thread in it. When you cut your, I don't know if I mentioned this tip or not, because this video's been like going on for 3.5 days. When you, if like you save buttons, like when you're, you know, getting rid of some clothes, it's not good enough to donate because they're, you know, real shabby, you can save the buttons. And when you cut the buttons off of like shirts before you throw them away or turn them into rags or whatever, try to keep the stitching intact. Try to keep the like thread in the holes, and that way it'll look really cute on your cards. Watch now, some like famous scrapbook company is going to come out and they're going to sell buttons that have the stitching on them already, and they're going to look old. And then I'm going to be like, hey, I knew that was $1 million idea. Glue boogers. I think that one's done. I think that's fine. What do you think? I can always add a little sentiment or something on there, like Happy Father's Day or retirement for a teacher. This would be a perfect teacher retirement card. So if I know any teachers that are retiring, I'm going to give them that card. Could sell it to somebody that needs a teacher retirement card. I don't know. Put them in the shop. Put them at Accents, downtown Bangor. They sell some of my cards. I should probably drop them a new basket. Last time I went, it was right before Christmas. I dropped off Christmas cards. Give them some random faux ancestor cards. Who are these people? They could be anybody's ancestors. That's what's so great about it. It's fake ancestors. They're somebody's ancestors. I don't know who. Oh, look at that. You know what? That music has a direction to it, so that's going to go that way. Oh, it's the way I think, yeah, it's the way I intended anyway. Sometimes we'll be making a batch of cards, and I'm like, I hope I had the fold on the right side, because you don't want to like have it open up on the wrong side. All right, so are we going to do, if we're going to do Baker's Twine, we're going to do it right off the bat. Now, I think this will fit. I kind of just went up a little higher, I think, because this is one of the original bottoms. The factory bottom, so it'll go all the way to the bottom, and I have that stupid seam there, darn it. But when you do something wrong, it's simply an opportunity for embellishment, and one of these lovely tapes will be perfect. Ooh, I like that butterfly one. And I think I'll even put that bird one on there. Do I want some string on that one? Why not? I think that's pretty. Do I want to do brown, or do I want to go with another color? Is there any, oh, there's blue. This blue will work with that. It's not really the right shade of blue. I think, what about red? Red, this nice red on that. I think the red actually might pop. We'll do red. Yeah, that's pretty. I like that. We're going to do the knot to the back this time. I usually like to do the knots to the back if I'm like, you know, planning it. I don't think I want 3 strands. I think 2 strands would be good because it's kind of a bright color for everything else I have going on. Got a little too much. Not much though. Gotta have enough to tie it. Don't you hate it when you don't cut it quite long enough and you can't tie it, and then you gotta cut a whole new piece? That's being too frugal, because then you end up, it's penny wise, pound foolish is what that is. Let's scooch that together a little bit. Yeah, that's gonna be sweet. Score tape, because we're using that glassine, and the ATG doesn't like to stick to that, although weirdly washi tape sticks great. It's like the ATG gun can't find purchase with that. It wants to. I find that also on like photo paper sometimes the ATG gun does not will not grab. It's very, very strange. I really like this also from doing boxes or gift bags and stuff, because it really holds well. Do that like that, and we'll put our head back in and see how he looks. That's cute. I also think buttons would be cute here, but is there a reason for there to be buttons here? There really isn't. But what would also be cute is a postage stamp. Like a, you know, a postmark. Let's do that one. The parcel post. You know what? I'm actually going to do that with black ink because I want to make sure it you know, really stands out. And I have darker colors with that background paper and also that black music notes. And here's a secret. I don't worry about cleaning these little these postmark stamps, because I'm always using black or brown, so I'm not worried about it. Give it time to transfer. And the archival ink should dry on the Glassine. Oh, darn it. I got a boo-boo. Can I wipe it off? Oh, shoot. I think it's fine. See, that's what I was talking about. The those stamps, like, see how nice and trimmed these are? I trimmed these so close because I trimmed them and mounted them. But on these, and even like this one, the store-bought one, it's trimmed closely, but that one, shoot, I should have known better. I should have checked that. Oh well, what else? What can I put there for an embellishment? Maybe we'll be doing buttons anyway, because, or maybe maybe I could do another sticker or a little strip of washi tape. You know what? Maybe washi tape. I like these numbers. We could do maybe a little piece of that. So I already have 3. I don't want to have 4 of the. I could go right over the edge. There we go. All right. You want to take a look at the cards that are done. So there's one we just finished. Backside is also pretty. It's hard to decide what one to keep. There's our one with our cute little doggy woggy. Here is our lovely twin sisters. Should have made 2 of these. I'd give one to each of my daughters for their birthday because they're twins. Can't get enough of the twin themed things when you're a twin. You totally can. There's that little kid. Here are these lovely ladies. This one I made yesterday. Oh yeah, I forgot I got some of that die cut felt out. It's kind of fun sometimes. And you got this little girl who's doing a little curtsy. And finally, we've got a wedding card, which, you know, could put a stamp for congratulations or put the couple's name there. And I just thought that was so pretty. That was actually the back side. That was kind of like a mistake. But I was like, oh, I really like that background, so I used it. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed this card making workshop. I hope you got some good ideas, or it put you to sleep and you're safely off into La La Dreamland right now. Whatever, I don't judge. Thank you so much for watching. Please give me a thumbs up if you enjoy these long tutorials. Please leave a comment if you'd like to ask a question or tell me something you liked, or if you want to see more videos like this, let me know. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time, happy crafting.